All right, hello, welcome to Symphony Nova Scotia and an introduction to our Young People's Concert. My name is Daniel Bartholomew-Poyser. I'm the Symphony Nova Scotia Conductor in Residence and Community Ambassador, and I'm here with Nicole Jordan.
Hello, yep, my name's Nicole Jordan, and I teach voice at the Fountain School of Performing Arts at Dalhousie. And I have the honor of getting to perform with Daniel in the coming months.
We're very much looking forward to having you with us for this piece called The Thrill of the Orchestra by Russell Peck. As you were, getting to know the piece, what were some of your initial thoughts about this piece, The Thrill of the Orchestra?
Yeah, it's really interesting because it gave me a feeling of yeah, well, I was thrilled actually because it's really informative about the parts of the orchestra. It reminded me a bit of like Fantasia, the Disney
Yes, yeah,
movie,
yeah.
except that instead of just giving you images to go with an orchestral piece, it actually helps to explain all the different parts and all the different families of the orchestra. And I thought that was really interesting, and something that I wish I'd had when I was young.
Absolutely. There are a lot of pieces. Actually, there aren't that many pieces that try to do what this piece does, which is really bring the instruments of the orchestra to life and bring music to life. What I love about it is the way in which Peck does it. The instruments, you just hear them so vividly as you're going to be describing them and describing what's happening. The music is so good and it's so relatable. And for young people, they're not going to be bored. They're going to be interested. It's like the percussion section to open it up, right? It's crazy. There's so much happening. It's so wonderful. So I think the way that he's made it so engaging to learn about the instruments is really, really fantastic and very appropriate for people of all ages. And also the length, it's not that long, right? It's about like 12 minutes or so. So just it kind of goes down smooth. I guess it goes down smooth. So
Yeah.
Nicole, what's your role in this story, in The Thrill of the Orchestra?
Yeah, indeed. I get to play the role of the narrator. So, in my regular life, I sing, but in this case, I get to narrate and to tell the story of all of the different parts of the orchestra. And it begins, as you said, with the percussion, then it moves into the brass, and then it moves into the woodwinds, and then finally into the strings. And so it's not only telling the story of each family group of the orchestra, but also showing. The percussionists will stand up, for example, and show their sticks, and the brass will show their instruments, and also take out the mouthpiece, and so it's also a visual show. So you get
Absolutely.
to hear about the instruments, get to hear them play, of course, and get to see them.
And I think one thing that's really important is that he doesn't only answer the question how the instruments work and what they do, but also why we do what we do and why. And I don't want to give it away, right? But like why it is that this is important and why that's a really important part that a lot of concerts miss out on. So okay, here's a trumpet. Okay, but so what? Right? Here's an orchestra. Okay, but so what? And he answers that question in this performance.
Absolutely.
So I guess some questions for you. Like you said that you are a singer, you're teaching singing, and how does that relate to your work as a narrator in this concert? Like what from singing crosses over into your narration work?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I'm also a poet. I write poetry and I do spoken word. And to me, it's just part of the vocal arts. I'm classically trained singer, but I can sing in many different styles as needed, because it's just a knowledge of the vocal instrument. And so, of course, that includes what we all do, which is speaking, and narrating in this case. So to me, it's all one big package. It's part of the craft of being a
And
vocalist.
oh, I'm sorry. And people might hear that you're a narrator and think, oh well, you're just talking, but it's actually way more than that because the speaking, the expression, it's all timed to the music. Like you have words and you have to say them at certain parts, or else it won't work. What's that like? Does it make you nervous? Is that okay? Like, what does that feel like when you're?
Well, I have to practice, just like anything else. I have to know what the timing is. It's really quite cool because when they mention when they mention the woodwinds, I kind of introduce the woodwinds and then they respond. So it's really going to be this communication between myself, the conductor, of course, and the orchestra, that they will also be responding at the right times. It's really, really close timing. We have to pay attention to
Yes,
that.
it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. It's so funny because, people watching, the audience, everything is just, oh, it's going well, it's going well. But there are moments when we're up there where it's like, we are making sure that things are happening. That's the job. So I guess to end off, what are some of your favorite parts of this piece?
What I really find special about it is not only does it show the instrument and say, here it is, these are the parts, but it also talks about what the basic sounds that the instrument makes. Like if you're just a beginner, like the screech of the strings and the sort of the buzz of the mouthpiece.
Yes.
And that to me is really, really beautiful, because whenever you begin an instrument, it doesn't sound beautiful. It just sounds like a screech. But what it takes us through is that screech into the beauty that you will eventually get to. So I find that really inspiring and encouraging.
I do too, because it lets people know that you start off where you start off and you grow from there. But we all started off with these screeches and these bangs and these noises that eventually, hopefully, with practice, as practice makes permanent, become music. Nicole, thank you so much for your time today and for taking time to speak with us.
I
We're
look
really
forward to it.
we're really looking forward to having you with us at Symphony Nova Scotia for the thrill of the orchestra.